Hey everybody, this is Maxine Taylor with another edition of my Trumpology report. And today, what I would like to do is talk with you about somebody who has been in the news with Donald Trump for a long time. Kellyann Conway, who is now one of his major advisors, senior advisors. Again, no birth time on Kellyann. And at some point, I will do a solar chart reading on her, which I think you will find very, very interesting. Today, though, I'm going to talk about what she triggers, what she brings out in Trump, because all of his appointees bring out the various elements of his personality and his life. And it's very interesting to see what buttons they punch, how they help him, or perhaps how they hinder him. That time will tell. So, looking at Kellyann Conway, the only planets that I have put in Trump's chart, the innermost chart here, are the ones that she triggers. Now, those of you who study astrology know that a full chart comparison goes into the very nature of each person whose chart you are comparing with the other. We use all of the aspects, the conjunction, the trine, the sextile, the square, the quincunx. We talk about house position. In this series, I'm going to keep it very simple because the bottom line is, the simpler it is, the easier it is to get the whole picture. So, looking at this chart that I've drawn up here, let's start over here in the 11th house. This is Trump's 11th house of friends, hopes, wishes, group activities like Congress, all kinds of groups. And what we have here is Kellyan's Jupiter, which is the great benefic, abundance, joy, happiness, sits on Trump's Saturn, which tends to make him the leader, very serious, very much on top with groups. And Jupiter is our friend. And so she adds an element of be a friend to people when she's with him. Perhaps she's actually said this, I don't know. However, in addition, her Jupiter sits on his Venus. Jupiter is the great benefic. Venus is the lesser benefic. Venus is love. It's happiness. Jupiter expands that. When somebody's Jupiter touches your Venus, there is a friendship, a love. I don't mean a romantic love necessarily, because this is in the 11th house of friends. However, there is a joy in being with the other person. You each amplify the happiness of the other person. And so that's what Kellyann brings to this relationship. And once again, because Trump has his Saturn right next to his Venus, he really takes his friendships very seriously. We know that. He has appointed his friends to cabinet positions. He is expecting loyalty from his friends. Kellyann has been loyal, and there is that wonderful feeling of friendship between the two of them. Okay, look down here at Trump's third house. This is his house of communication. He doesn't need any help there, right? Okay, Kellyan's Mars is there. Wherever Mars is, that's what you fight with or fight for. It's what you put first. And so she fires up his mouth. And his ideas. And her Mars sits on his Jupiter in his second house. And so what that says is her ideas can help him make money. And I'm sure he's seen that. Her South Node, which is the area that we have mastered in past lives and to which we are instinctively drawn, also falls in Trump's third house. And so some of her ideas may or may not be the best for him. That's not a judgment call. It's just what the South Node does. It drains and the energy from that area. And so she fires him up. She fires up his ideas. She fires up his mind. And at the same time, her suggestions may fall after a while on deaf ears. You know what I'm saying? Also, they may not always be of great benefit to him. Now, look down here at the very bottom of the chart, her Neptune, which is the ideal, the dream. Neptune is either escape, wishful thinking, or divine inspiration. Neptune also dissolves whatever it touches. And so this is the very foundation of his life. This is his domestic picture. This is his real estate picture. And so she either instills in him the dream of the absolutely divine and perfect home setting. But at the same time, she can encourage him to escape there and can encourage him to let the domestic picture, the real estate picture, the, in fact, very foundation of his life just move on. So it's very hard with Neptune to know if it's going to dissolve things or inspire. We have to wait and see. Now, Kellyanne's sun, the giver of life, the center of our universe, sits on Trump's vertex. Now, have you noticed that in the chart comparisons I've done, his vertex is triggered very, very often by the people he has put up for appointment? The vertex is our karmic role in life. In Trump's chart, it's in his 5th house of children and fun and games. And fun can be anything. It's sex, it's sports, it's theater, it's drama, it's movies. And so she lights up that vertex, encouraging him to enjoy, to be creative, and there's an emphasis there of, I want to say children. I don't think he needs any encouragement to be with his kids. He really loves his kids. So let's keep it to fun and games. And her son sits right behind the 6th cusp, which encourages him to work. Now that 6th house is work, health, and service. Her Mercury is there, so she gives him great ideas on what to do with his employees and how to go about the business of his work. Her Venus is in his 6th house as well. This helps his health, helps him enjoy his work and enjoy working with her, which is vitally important if you're going to work with somebody, of course. So she brings a whole new approach to his daily work picture, from scheduling to whatever. Now look at the 8th house. Her Saturn sits in his 8th house. Saturn is responsibility, which I define as respond to your ability. However, it can be fear, it can be restriction, but it rules structure. It also rules real estate and government. Isn't that interesting? The 8th house is the house of secrets. So whatever is in the 8th house, whether in the person's chart or the comparison person's chart, brings reality to hidden matters, brings reality to other people's money. And what she does then is make tangible any financial opportunities that he might have with other people, number one. Number two, she can encourage him to look deeply at those things which are private and secret. Very, very interesting. And if it manifests as fear, which it can, I always look at it as respond to your abilities and be the leader, and you will succeed in spite of any fear you might have. You take charge. So she's encouraging him to take charge of joint finances, and I'm thinking of his holdings with his family, as well as to perhaps be cautious out of concern, maybe fear. Okay, 9th house. This is the higher mind. It's also foreigners. It's long distance travel, communication. It is the big picture. It is your belief system. Her North Node encourages him to expand his boundaries. I don't think he needs any help doing that, but she amplifies it. And because we don't have a birth time for her, we really don't know where her moon is. The moon is what we are instinctively drawn to. It triggers the subconscious mind. It is where we are emotionally attached, and it brings change. It's in his 9th house. So she helps him bring about a change in his relationships with foreign countries. If it is a late moon, let's see, her moon, for those of you who study astrology, is listed between 12 of Taurus and 24 of Taurus, Taurus being the money sign. If it's late Taurus, it sits on his midheaven and encourages him to make a change in his public image. So that's the Trumpology report for now. There will be many, many more. I thought when I started this segment, I'd be making a few videos a week. I'm doing a few videos a day. My sense is that this is going to continue for the duration of Trump's presidency. So I'm going to take a deep breath and head on over to the gym. In the meantime, may the stars shine brightly on you and yours and the United States of America.